gender activists have labelled former President Jacob Zuma a textbook misogynist for what they have called sexist attacks on Constitutional Court Justice Sisi, Khampepe, as well as former public protector AdvocateThuli Madonsela. Nomboniso Gasa is adjunct professor of public law at the University of Cape Town and joins us now to talk more about this. And welcome to the program. You're one of the people, Nomboniso, who say there is indeed a sexist and misogynistic tone to some of the backlash received by Justice Khampepe and the former public protector. Speak to us about how that shows itself.
Well, good afternoon to you and your listeners. Well, in the first instance, we know that President Zuma chooses his words very carefully. We know that when you refer to women and what women are saying as emotional and angry, it is a way of dismissing what they are saying and not engaging with the actual content. We have seen this in how his foundation has responded to the judgment which was delivered by Judge Khampepe. We also see it in the way he has engaged with the role of the former public protector, Professor Madonsela, whom he described in his recent address to his supporters as a girl who gave herself power to tell him to establish a commission, and also referred to how she looks in that statement. First and foremost, President Zuma knows that Professor Madonsela acted within the functions and the powers and the role that we expect from of the public protector when she, in her report, made recommendations, including the establishment of the Zondo Commission. So to refer to her, to what she did as a girl who gave herself a power to tell a president what to do is disingenuous, but it's a very, very carefully selected argument so that she could be dismissed as with no role as a girl and basically denigrated by the former president.
What then becomes the remedy to that sort of commentary and conduct?
I think that there is no immediate remedy. I think that President Zuma has done this repeatedly and has perfected this art of undermining women. We saw him refuse to refer to young women in parliament as MPs or colleagues if they disagree with him and address them as Ntombazana. We see it repeatedly in how he ridicules Professor Madonsela. So there isn't going to be an overnight kind of solution to this, but I think in the first instance, we need to call it what it is. Sexism directed at women who hold President Zuma to account because it is their jobs, because it is what we expect from the positions they hold. I think it's important also to unpack this so that many of us understand what exactly is at play here. The idea here is to make women who hold public positions to be afraid of powerful men like President Zuma, and therefore not make rulings that may be to their disadvantage.
There'll be people who say that the judiciary in South Africa, especially in the last few years, has been quite heavily criticized, men or women being called captured and the rest of it, and that this is not limited to Justice Khampepe and the former public protector, who, yes, is not part of the judiciary, but was part of the head of a Chapter 9 institution. How would you respond to that?
Well, we look at the language that President Zuma uses. When he talks about male judges, he uses specific language. So we should not run away from the fact that he is sexist and he is feeding into a culture in our society that is deeply patriarchal and toxic masculinities. We need to call it what it is. Yes, he has been dismissive sometimes of the judiciary broadly, especially if they make rulings that he doesn't like. But we're saying added to that is a specific way in which he systematically targets women in order to silence them, in order to make us afraid to say what we should be saying in instances where women are holding him to account. So yes, the judiciary has seen a lot of pot shots thrown at them. We have seen attacks sometimes truly, just crude. But I think that that doesn't mean that we must not look at the specificities of a sexist attack.
Given that, again, patriarchy, sexism are societal problems, are you finding that attitudes are changing towards it, especially in as far as people actively calling it out and addressing the behavior?
I don't think any of us expect change overnight. It's going to be a very, very long process. It has always been. But I think it's important to hold those who have been elected to public office in the first instance. President Zuma is a former president of this country. He saw oath to the Constitution. We have to ensure that we hold him to account because of the position and the stature that he has in this society. And that will, in the long run, feed into ongoing change that we hope to see in our lifetime.
Nomboniso Gasa, Adjunct Professor of Public Law at UCT, thank you so much for speaking to us this afternoon.